An example of failed monarchs, I would consider Louis XVI. As I briefly mentioned in my essay about authoritarianism, I don't consider him evil but spineless. He did not have the balls to push through the legislation of tax reform that were proposed to him by his ministers. In addition, something that I have found while reading his biographies by researching him is that he was kind of pre internet era chud. He was very interested in nerdy stuff for the time, such as hunting. That's quite masculine, actually. Locksmithing, and history, and apparently was very neglectful towards his wife, and also lacked any sort of knowledge on how to have sex. A true cell might he be, especially if he had no social status. If he had born with no social status, nowadays he would have been an incel. Would have been a frequent user of the incel forums, and something that this reminds me of is how you should not fetishize this sort of Salic law, oldest son gets to be head of state thing. I think that there should be some sort of competence test. It shouldn't be just hereditary. And the same warning I have given to the British people and the British Homeland Party is that I don't simply think that you should just fetishize the current monarchical order and just the strict hierarchy of eldest son gets to be the king. That is a affair of state because they are heads of state, and on them is spent a significant amount to finance their personal luxury, so they might as well be of some sort of competence. And I would suggest that if the eldest son is a chod, an incel, an autistic nerd who doesn't really care that much about state issues, or isn't really sociable, a head of state should be someone with social skills. It should be a Chad. The ideal would be like a Chad brain cell who has a lot of brains as well. But usually, if you have to choose between, you need to be more of a Chad than a nerd to be head of state. You need to rule over a social hierarchy, which naturally requires social skills. And so, the correct solution with Louis the XVI I would have proposed is that he chose a monastic life. He can choose some Catholic order like the Dominicans, and be a locksmith and teacher and historian, and some Duke of Orleans, his younger brother, gets the throne if he has the charisma for it, if he has the will for it. Because what happened was that he was actually so inept at sex, by the way, that I should here quote the Holy Roman Emperor at the time, his brother in law, if I am not mistaken. Quote, in the end, it's not a weakness of the body or spirit, it's simply that he hasn't had his let there be light moment yet. His technique is still in the process of formation. In his marriage bed, he has strong erections. He inserts his member, remains there for perhaps 2 minutes without moving, withdraws without ejaculating, and then, while still erect, bids good night to his wife. It's incomprehensible. He sometimes has nocturnal emissions, but always while lying motionless. He's satisfied, saying he does it only out of a sense of duty, but has no desire for it. Ah, if only I could have been present once, I would have set him straight. He should be whipped until he discharges in anger like a donkey. My sister does not have the temperament for this, and together they make an utterly inept couple. Joseph II, Holy Roman Empire. And yeah, this is a certified autistic nerd chad. So yeah, it's interesting. Like I would give anything to be so undesiring as Louis XVI. Like he would have been perfect to be a monk, but alas, the inheritance laws of France, the Salic inheritance laws, forced him to be king. So yeah, I guess don't fetishize the primal son inheritance theory. Choose based on some sort of meritocracy. Even within the same family, have some meritocratic criteria. and don't marry young princesses off to dudes who are asexual nerds who only like locks and gunsmithing and stuff. That's a valuable lesson from history, guys.